Oh, hey, folks, it's me, Kevin Tinkin, reminding you to go over to YouTube, go over to Patreon, go over to EddiePepitone.com. Check us out. There's more of Apocalypse Soon, and you can be part of it. And now let's get into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people that have intercepted this message through various means of government espionage, welcome to Apocalypse Soon, the only podcast with absolutely zero upside. And here he is, recorded from across the country, set coast to coast. It's Eddie Pepitone.
Hello, and welcome to Apocalypse Soon. This is Count Dracula. Oh, good evening. I want to suck your blood. I'm Count Dracula. The reason I don't sound like Count Dracula is I have a cold. No, I don't. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Apocalypse Soon. It's Eddie Pepitone. Now, I don't know if you know how long it took me to come up with that opening. I would say half a second. And I just want the young comedians out there, and I know a lot of comedians listen to this podcast, at least in my imagination. And they're looking for, it's going to be a long haul. I mean, 0.5 seconds is not a walk in the park. So, hi, everybody. You're hearing an audio-only podcast because I am in New York. I'm now in Woodstock, New York, after flying in on the red eye last week to go to a wedding, and I did a show in Brooklyn with Gary Goldman. And then, this is the big story for me. Oh, my God. And I'm still suffering from it. So if you hear me groaning occasionally, it's not that I'm masturbating or, getting lucky during the podcast, but I went roller skating the night before the wedding because they had a roller skating party for the guests. And I was the only older person skating, or I tried to skate. I took 4 steps on these shitty roller skates, and my feet went out from under me. I fell directly backwards with the full weight of my back, the full weight of my whole body hitting my fucking back. I was lucky I did not hit my head. I'd probably be dead. Now, what's interesting, what was fortuitous for me, besides not hitting my head, was that the wedding was for 2 doctors. So there were a lot of doctors there. Their friends are doctors, blah, blah, blah. So when I fell, I was surrounded by doctors, and particularly an ER doctor. And he kept asking me, did you hit your head? Did you hit your head? I said, no. He goes, are you all right? I said, no, I'm not. I couldn't breathe at first. This was the most, traumatic fall in my life. The force with which I hit the ground. I had some PTSD for a few days. But anyway, the upshot of it is that my fucking back was killing me. I'm just giving you, the recap of my week so far. I've been now in the New York area for 9 days. So my back was killing me. And, I was a trooper, though. I made it to the wedding the next day on a lot of Advil. A lot of fucking Advil. And I made it to the wedding. I even didn't feel that bad, but my back has been super, super painful. So today, 8 days after the accident, I finally got x-rays, and I was very lucky. I don't have any bone breaks they were worried about a possible fracture in my spine even. And but I did fuck up my rib cartilage again, but I didn't break a rib, which I definitely thought I did. Anyway, all that to say that I've completely fucked up my trip. I was supposed to go to Denver on Friday. I'm recording this on Sunday, Friday and Saturday. It was a great gig in Denver that I missed. The lovely and talented Jackie Cation took my place at the Denver Comedy Underground, but I had to cancel. And when I posted online that I had gone roller skating and injured myself, people couldn't believe that I went roller skating, which is true. I really, really did. So now, after getting the good news on the x-rays, I'm a lot better mentally, because whenever something like that happens to me, I just go to the worst case scenario. Like when the pain got really bad a couple of nights ago, and I still have a lot of pain, I was just going, I'm fucked. This is it. This is the end. Blah, blah. I just go down that rabbit hole of fear and anxiety, and I'm fucking older now. It's so kind of... Oh, man, I used to the reason why I went roller skating is because years ago, I used to rollerblade all over Manhattan. I played roller hockey for a little bit, not in a big league or anything, but like pickup games. So I thought I knew how to skate well. And it turns out I did not. 4 steps, they were shitty skates though. And I was so mad at myself for doing it because, I just got over this fucking whole, this whole prostate cancer surgery and being down with that. And then I fucked up my rib in New York recently as well. So now I'm re-injured, but I'm really grateful that I didn't fucking get badly hurt. Apparently, he said I should be feeling better, between a week and 2 weeks. So that's kind of encouraging. And I'm going to go to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, 2 lovely cities, and now perform, unless I'm still fucked up, which I doubt. That's going to be June 19th and 20th. 19th in Pittsburgh at a great club called Bottle Rocket. And one of the symptoms of a bad back is that, I was going to say rocket bottle, and one of the symptoms of a bad back, I'm told, is that you flip words. Like, instead of bottle rocket, you say rocket bottle. Instead of, how are you, it's you are how. You know what I mean? Anyway. All right, so that's the opening to today for the podcast. That's the opening, and we're going to get into some bits. Hopefully I'm funny. I'm in pain. But, pain, that's what comedy is. Pain is transforming comedy. You see, again, the back injury, I'm mixing it up. Pain gets alchemized into comedy. Pain gets alchemized into joy. So, I just tried to roll over and it hurt. I'm doing this from a laying down position. So I'm playing hurt, but we are gonna have, hopefully, some laughs.
And now, Driving in the Rain with Eddie Pepitone.
It was raining. It was raining very hard. Harder than a very difficult lawyer exam. I think they're called LSATs. Really, this rain was hard. You know what I mean? It was almost difficult, like an incredibly complex math problem that only, a quantum physicist could tackle, like Kepler. By the way, if anybody knew Kepler, and the rain kept pounding my windshield the way, the way Carpaccio would get pounded with a mallet. Oh, the rain was pounding my windshield. But Kepler, I wanted to say this, Johann Kepler. Johann or Johann Kepler. I think it's Johann, even though a lot of bullies called him Johann to trigger him, and that's what bullies do. They trigger you with bullshit. They used to call me, instead of Eddie, they would call me fat scumbag, and that was triggering. But anyway, Kepler was such a great physicist. He overcame that bullying, and he was a physicist for the ages. I don't know if you remember, but anyway, the rain was as difficult as the problems that Kepler tackled. That's what I wanted to say. And I was driving my Uber / Lyft / Instacart / Uber Eats / DoorDash / Bookmobile / Therapy on Wheels / Meals on Wheels / meals that are on really nice wheels / there's no meals, but we're still on wheels, which is a delivery service that delivers nothing to people. They just use the Meal on Wheels vehicle to break into people's houses who are waiting for meals. Indigent, older people who are waiting for meals, and they don't get them. They don't get them because anyway, the rain was coming down. My wipers were going to and fro, and I felt hypnotized. I had to deliver an eggs Florentine to a woman who was absolutely stunningly gorgeous. She was an old movie star. She was in her 90s. And I can't even tell you her name. It's so top secret. But let's just say that she was old as fuck. And I had to deliver her an eggs Florentine, and she was still so stunningly gorgeous because she kept herself nice with a regimen of bathing in cucumbers and lemon, and not only bathing in fruit. Well, cucumbers and lemon are technically vegetables, I believe. Lemon is on the fence, I think. Lemon could be a fruit or a vegetable or a shitty car you buy. Anyway, the windshield wipers went to and fro, and I was hypnotized. And I had to get this eggs Florentine all the way across Los Angeles with the rain just making life so difficult, so hard, so complicated. I mean, if we're gonna live our lives, we should keep everything simple. Keep things simple, they tell you. Well, this rain, I was trying to navigate this rain like Magellan or one of those explorers. You know what I'm talking about? And all of a sudden a song came on the radio that kind of picked up my spirits. Maybe you recognize this song. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Well, a Colorado Rocky. Anyway, you get the idea. John Denver sang that. I know a lot of you kids don't know who John Denver was. And it's kind of ironic that a guy named John Denver is talking about how much he loves Colorado, Denver being the capital of Colorado. It's almost too freaking freaky to believe. And that song always lifts my spirits. Denver, of course, John Denver, that is, he died in a plane crash, hit the Rocky Mountains I believe. And it's too ironic. A guy singing about how Rocky Mountain High, and then he dies going into the Rocky Mountains. I believe that's true. You could Google it. He hit some mountain, and he hit it hard. I mean, almost as hard as my roller skating accident. He hit that mountain really hard. Boom. And that was the end of Denver. John Denver. But anyway, that music picked me up, and the Eggs Florentine was starting to run. And my real concern, as there was flash flooding all around me, and I don't know if you've ever been caught in a flash flood with your Uber Eats car, your Uber Eats car. You vacuumed the car. I always try to make my Uber Eats car look good. I vacuumed it. I detailed it with a toothbrush and a toothpick. You ever get a steel toothpick as a gift for doing some shit for somebody? Like you paint their bathroom and they're like, here's a steel toothpick. It was used in the movie Deer Hunter. You ever get that kind of bullshit from people? They're lying to you, Oh, take that steel toothpick. It was in the Deer Hunter. And I took it and I painted a bathroom, and that's all I got. And I come to find out it wasn't the Deer Hunter that the toothpick was in. It was in Waterworld, a real shitty movie with Kevin Costner when he was a failure. Costner has rebounded with Yellowstone and other movies, but man, was he bad for a while there. He did Waterworld. He did a movie that was legendarily bad called Postman. I mean, he was in some bad flicks for a while. He had a bad patch. He hit a bad patch, and we all hit a bad patch. As Leonard Cohen would say, one of these days, that winning streak comes to an end. And Costner's came to an end. Anyway, that's the story of the steel toothpick. And I had to get this guy. I don't know why I brought up. Oh, that's right. I was detailing the car with that toothpick from Waterworld. And let me tell you something. My car looked so good, but the flash flooding, the water was just engulfing my car. And I had an Eggs Florentine. And let me tell you something. Hash browns and eggs, Florentine, which the sauce of Eggs Florentine, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's a hollandaise. Don't quote me on that. Eggs Benedict might be a hollandaise. But anyway, when water comes rushing into my car, you don't want to soak the hash browns. Hash browns don't do well in a flash flood. The eggs will float. The eggs will be okay. They might break up. There might be a problem with the consistency, but this rain was it was just like buckets and buckets of rain. It was like buckets and buckets of sawdust that a clown throws. You ever go to the circus? I think that the regular circus is a dying art, and I'm glad because they fucked with animals a lot, But now they have Cirque du Soleil, which really isn't a circus to me. Cirque du Soleil is beautiful and elegant, whereas the real circus back in the day was grimy and greasy, and that's why you saw all those movies about, the strong man having sex, these dark movies about circus performers, They were alcoholics. The strong man would have sex with the bearded lady, They would have freak shows, where they would have fetuses in a jar, and all this gritty stuff, And the rain was coming down like, a clown's sawdust bucket. And my big worry, beside drowning, because the water was getting into the car, and it starts at your feet. You know the progression. It goes from your feet eventually above your neck into your mouth, and once it goes past your nose, there's no breathing apparatus. I mean, I'm sure you understand, the dynamics of the human body and rain filling up a container. And anyway, my worry was that the 94-year-old woman, the gorgeous, stunning woman who had a beautiful regimen and still a beautiful face, I was afraid she might die if I don't get there soon enough, because I understood, and I heard this through the Uber Eats grapevine. She existed solely on a regimen of eggs Florentine. That was it. So this was her regimen. I'm thinking she's gonna die, and I'm in the middle of a flash flood. And all of a sudden, my car completely went buoyant. I was riding the surface of essentially Los Angeles. Essentially, Los Angeles had turned into an ocean. Now, I didn't think this was going to happen till the apocalypse, till the ecosystem completely collapsed. But I think this was the night of the collapse, or at least it felt like that. And I saw the eggs Florentine just float out of my window, and knowing that the woman's life may depend on it, I ditched the car and I swam after the eggs Florentine. And the rain, it came down even more steady. The rain was going out. The rain was coming down so steady. It was like someone dating someone, like going steady. It was like someone going steady with their best soulmate. You know what I mean? Like, when you're really going steady with someone. I don't think that term is used anymore. Now they just call it fucking on Tinder or whatever the latest dating app is. I think there's Tinder, and then there's, farmers who find other farmers. You ever see that app? It's a dating app exclusively for farmers, as the rain came down steadier than hell. And I'm swimming to get an eggs Florentine to save an old movie star, and Jesus H. popsicle sticks, or Jesus H. No, the saying is Jesus H. Christ on a popsicle stick. And the rain, it just was relentless, like a lunatic stabbing someone who wronged them. You ever watch those crime shows, and you see that the cops, these like murder shows on Dateline or Deadline, and they're like, the victim was stabbed 42 times, and we feel like that's a crime of passion. Oh, really, cop? Really? You're really bright, aren't you? Huh, cop? You think it had a little revenge in it? When someone doesn't know someone, they just give them one good stab, or maybe two. At the tops, they do 10. They have these statistics at Stabbing World, which is next to Gun World, in the Violent Emporium at the mall, located right off exit 25, where the protests are going on right now. Exit 25 on the 110 highway, where LA is starting to burn because of the fascist fucks ICE. These motherfuckers come into Los Angeles immigrant communities trying to instill fear into people, and these people are fighting back. Fuck you, ICE. But anyway, I digress. The rain was really now almost abusive. The rain was coming down in an abusive fashion. Have you ever been in a relationship? And I'm not even talking physical abuse. Mostly relationships are psychological abuse. Mostly people get manipulated by their significant others, sometimes to an abusive level. And I was trying to forget all that shit shit as I swam toward the eggs Florentine. I finally reached the eggs Florentine. I grabbed it, and there was a boat, a guy on a boat with his dog. He had been evacuated. He had been evacuated from his apartment on Gardner Street. Look it up if you don't know L.A. Gardner Street, I said. And this guy had been really escaping the floods with his dog. And I hopped in. I said, please take me to Culver City. There's a dame, an old broad who needs her eggs Florentine. And he said, you got it, pal. And the dog was a beautiful Labrador retriever, you know. And I just put the eggs Florentine down, and the rain would not stop pelting us. Pelting like the trappers used to sell pelts, you know, back in, I don't know, the 1800s. And these motherfuckers would kill seals, beautiful baby. I mean, I can't believe they did that. I don't even want to talk about it anyway. The rain was pelting us like vicious Canadian trappers, or whoever traps animals should be hung by their petards, whatever a petard is. And my friend now, he was my friend named Nick, who ran the boat, even with the rain pounding us, you know, smacking. The rain was smacking us around like an old mafia boss smacking an underling around. And he was just getting smacked by the rain, but he got me to the lady's place, and I saw her waiting outside. You know, she tried to look good with some makeup, and I went to grab the eggs Florentine, and I turned around, and the dog, whose name was Ginger, had eaten the eggs Florentine and the hash browns. And I just looked at her, and I said, hey, aren't you know, the movie star? And she said, are you delivering the eggs Florentine? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just taking a boat ride. I wouldn't admit to her that I was the Uber guy, and Ginger had eaten our eggs Florentine. I saw her take her last breath, and the rain kept coming down.
Thanks for joining us on another Driving in the Rain with Eddie Pepitone. And now take a deep breath. Let all your troubles melt away on another guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
Okay, everybody. Oh, it's been a very, very tough week. I think we've seen, and we all realize now, that indeed we do have a fascist takeover of the United States. The party's over, but you know what? We still can, each of us, individually take deep breaths and do a guided meditation, even when the fascists have stormed your house because they surveilled you online with Palantir technology developed by the billionaire scumbag Peter Thiel. So I hope everybody, even though we now completely live in a tyranny, and it's only the beginning, this tyrannical government is just getting started, and so are we. So with your first in-breath, I want you to breathe in just a beautiful little bit of hope. Not the kind of hope that Obama promised you, because his hope was bullshit, as you know. Obama was a Wall Street profiteer. He now owns huge beachfront property on Martha's Vineyard, etc., etc., etc. I mean, he wasn't as bad as the current clown face fuck, but he wasn't great. Anyway, I want you to breathe in a little hope. Not like Obama hope, but hope. You remember the actress Hope Lang? You remember something called... Well, I don't know, but anyway, breathe in a little hope. And by the way, what you just heard was sometimes your meditation guide can't think of a metaphor or can't think of a thing that also was named hope. I mean, Hope Lang, the actress reference, was obscure as it was, and I wasn't going to go into an even more obscure reference like Hope, the Hopi Indians. The Hopi Indians are actually an incredible tribe, and they usually give out a message to the world. The last time their message came out, I think it was about 5 or 10. Anyway, with your first in-breath, breathe in a little hope. And some of you might feel like broken glass is being breathed in, or shards of metal, because that's what we're feeling these days with the incredible decline of the American imperialist empire. Everything now is ricocheting back to us. And I'll give you one example before we finish our in-breath. One example is that every military technology that is unleashed on foreign populations always come back to be used on the domestic population. For instance, police now use sound waves to make people feel like their ears and brains are exploding, and that's how they disperse protesters, and flash grenades and all kinds of military technology to completely destroy the domestic population after murdering innocents overseas. Now, with your first in-breath, I don't want you to think about that at all. Do not think about all the murder and death that this government has perpetrated. I want you to see a beautiful unicorn. A beautiful unicorn. Oh, God. Oh. Fuck. Oh. Sorry, everybody. I have a bad back, and when I cough, I feel like my insides are being shredded by a juicer. Anyway, I don't want you to think about any of that stuff. I just want you to see a unicorn in an orange outfit. Can you do that? With your first in-breath, don't think about military technology. Don't think about ICE storming into your communities and instilling fear. By the way, in my mind, the ICE people who were dressed up, to look like something from the movie Transformers, in my mind, as a funny idea, I think they never take it off. Like when they go out to eat, they still have that gear on, and they have a tough time eating everything because they can barely get the food in their mask, and they go out dancing in the ICE uniforms. In other words, the bit is they never take off their uniforms. But I don't want you to think about ICE. I want you to think about a unicorn. A unicorn, the horn coming out of the middle of the head. Unicorns are white. They have rainbows all over them. But this one is wearing an orange suit. And it's not It's not a suit that prisoners wear. I know a lot of prisoners wear orange. There was a show that was a hit for a while called Orange is the New Black. No. I'm not, don't think of prison. Don't think of prison, even though most of us will be there soon. I know I will. I know I'm being followed by Palantir. And I know that they better not arrest me soon, because they rough you up when they arrest you, and I have an injured back. Anyway, I don't think screaming at the ice people, look, I just injured my back, can you take it easy? I don't think that'll work. But I don't want you to think about that. I want you to think about a beautiful unicorn in an orange vest, and not like the prisoners wearing that unicorn. Breathe that unicorn in. He's got nothing but love and magic. Unicorns are magic. If you've ever been psychotic, you know that unicorns are magic. If you've ever lost touch with reality, you know the power of unicorns. Or if you've taken enough hallucinogenics, you know how magical unicorns are. I want you to breathe in that magic. Can you do that? And with your first out breath, I want you to breathe out all of the tension that you feel, the tension that builds up in me, usually concentrates at the tip of my nose. For some reason, all the tension that I feel goes to the very tip of my nose. And sometimes, if I just blow my nose or scratch my nose, my tension is gone. But a lot of people can't do that. So breathe out all your tension. Let all the tension leave you. Let the tension in your body take a cab. Let the tension in your body call an Uber. Let the tension stand outside your house and wait for the Uber. Wait for the Uber. Let the tension in your body get into the Uber, and let the Uber take off with your tension inside. Just let it go. Don't follow. If you've called the Uber for the tension in your body, don't follow the path of the Uber on your phone. Just let it all go. Let that tension in you, and the tension that's accumulated from the fascist takeover of our government, the tension that accumulates with the bills mounting up, with all the firings going on, and the job market is just insane. The job market, people these days, they'll put out like 500, 1,000 resumes and not even get a nibble of interest. I want you to breathe that out. Breathe it out. Breathe it out. If you had a bad clam this week, breathe out the bad clam, Usually the clam will eventually come out the other end, but if it didn't, breathe it out. Breathe it out. And then with your final in-breath, I want you to breathe in joy. Just a lot of joy. I'm talking about the joy that you see when a child goes on, an amusement park ride, or finds an Easter egg, or, just has people who love him or her around them. And just think of your final in-breath as a beautiful, joyful child coming into your lungs. Don't think about the kids who have a lot of difficulties. No. Don't think about that. Kids who wind up in jail or who wind up picking up a weapon. No. I'm talking about nice children. Nice children who don't own a firearm. Okay? Nice children. I mean, a lot of kids these days have guns, and I don't want you to breed that in. They're even selling guns now to toddlers. The toddler gun is made for toddlers to shoot, and they are lethal. And you could get them at Gun World in the Murder Emporium. Breathe, don't breathe that in. Breathe in joy. Breathe in joy. Breathe it in, and just breathe in gratitude.
Thanks for joining us on another guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone. Oh, and now checking in with Al and Margaret, the couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head.
Al? Yeah, Margaret. Al, are you in a mood? Margaret, I didn't think you would notice. Al, it's hard for me not to notice you when you have started to cut yourself. Margaret, please. I cut myself with this scissor, trying to cut the cardboard box. No, you didn't, Al. I saw you harming yourself. All right, you got me. I'm depressed. Why are you depressed? Because I just watched a documentary on Attila the Hun. Al, I told you not to watch Attila the Hun documentaries. Do you know Attila the Hun would go into a village, he would burn it down, and then he would piss on it? I mean, isn't it bad enough you burn down a village, then he would piss on it? Al, Attila the Hun was not a good guy. Well, I didn't know that, okay? What do you mean you didn't know Attila the Hun was a good guy? Margaret, I didn't know. I thought Attila the Hun had his good points. I heard he was a bit of a reader. Reader? Yeah, I heard he liked, just good fiction, and also he was a student of history. Al, please don't follow people like Attila the Hun or Genghis Khan, because they just destroy people. Yeah, you ever watch a documentary and you start to cut yourself because it's really, really bad? Well, Nabisco has, and we made a cookie that also highlights that. It's Attila the Hun burning down a village and pissing on it. It's a shortbread cookie, and our prisoners will deliver it. Don't use your Ring camera, and I think you're going to love these new cookies. They are just incredible, made of shortbread, and the depictions are... Anyway, I think I'm going to... Let's get back to Al and Margaret. Al, what do you think of Charles Nabisco? Margaret, I'm glad you asked me that question. I think he's a loose cannon, and I think he's an alcoholic, and I think, who am I? But I think he needs therapy. Speaking of therapy, Al, how come you will not go to couples therapy with me? Margaret, I think that me and you, and I've told you this before, and I'm sorry I have to bring this up right now, but I think me and you do not exist. Oh, my goodness, you're going to start that again? We do exist. As a matter of fact, I'll prove it to you. Give me your penis right now. Pull it out of your pants. Good. And now I'm going to just jerk it. I'm going to jerk it off. You ever get jerked off by a fictional imaginary character? Well, Nabisco has. We have a cookie, shortbread, where you see someone getting jerked off by a fictional character. It's called fictional character hand job, and we got scouts who they're prisoners, most of them in for life, but we let them
onto your porch. Don't use the Ring camera or I'll get in trouble. It's the shortbread cookie of fictional characters jerking off somebody. Please, oh, God.
Al, will you stop it? Okay, does that prove to you I'm real? Margaret, that was the best damn hand job I had since, I don't know, since I was a young lad in the mind of Eddie Pepitone. Al? Yes. When Eddie first developed us, I remember I got a hand job behind a gas station that was selling gas at over $6 a gallon. You know, the prices that people in California pay, and nobody believes them. Al, don't go on a soapbox about high gasoline prices. Well, it's ridiculous, Margaret. I know it is, but you're always harping on the price of gas. And what does the price of gas have to do with the tea in China? I don't know what you're talking about, Margaret. I don't like how you sometimes use these examples, and I don't know what the hell you mean. But anyway, yeah, I did get a hand job like that once at the very beginning of Eddie's journey into our existence. Al, for God's sake, stop pointing out that me and you both don't exist. I can't help it, Margaret. I want everything to be real. I mean, when I watched the Attila the Hun documentary, by the way, it was done by Ken Burns. The Attila the Hun documentary was done by Ken Burns, and it's like a 25-parter. The first part, he burns down villages and pisses on them, and then then it goes to 20 parts, and I don't know what, I'm just on the first part, and I can't imagine, 2 through 20, episode 2, episode 3. I mean, how many villages can he burn down? How many people's lives can he ruin? How many people can he set on fire, Mark? Al, please, stop talking about Attila the Hun and come over here and hug me. It's hard to hug a woman who's just giving you the hand job of your life. Al, I love you so much. You're the only one that I would viciously rip their penis out of their pants. Whether we're fictional or not, we are. Well, I don't think so, because I feel you, Al. I feel you too, Margaret. I love you. I love you too. Now unzip my dress. And I want you to write a letter to the president on my back with a marker. Margaret, you're talking nonsense. Al, please take this red marker and write on my back, Dear Mr. Trump. Okay, Dear Mr. Trump, go fuck yourself.
Aren't they great? Thanks for joining us on another Checking In with Al and Margaret, the couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head. Thanks for joining us on Apocalypse Soon, the only podcast with zero upside.